it's Anja here, and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks. And in this video I'm going to show you how to join your squares in a continuous join for right-handed crocheters. So this video is not meant to explain how to do the stitches for the continuous join, but it is meant to explain the technique and to show you how to do it when you are right-handed. And of course you will have to watch this video alongside your own pattern and use the stitches and of course the squares, the amount of squares, the stitches in the squares that are prescribed there. So when you are right-handed, you generally work in crochet from right to left. So when you join your continuous join, you're going to lay out all your squares, all finished, and then you are going to start in the right hand top corner, and with a continuous join, you're going to start in the same place as eventually you will end as well. So let me show you how to work so that you get to all the sides of all your squares. So starting in the top right hand corner, you get started, you work your way to the first corner of your first square, then you work your way down the side, then you work your way up the side on the next square, then along the top of the next square, then along that side. Then you go to your next square and you work your way along the side there. You then work all along its top and its side. So obviously you're making corners where you need to make them, and here we do a little extra chain, but that's for a technique video. Where I have drawn two green lines, you have actually joined them together. So you have interlinked the second green line into the first one. Then you work your way back along your three squares along those base sides. There we go. Then really you start doing again what you've done there. So here I've only got 3 squares, but of course if you have more squares you do more, okay? So same thing again, work along the side, down and up again, along the side, down and up again. And you do this, of course, until your row is finished. Then you work your way all the way back to the start of your row again here, where you are going to do exactly the same thing. And you keep on doing this all along your blanket. And it might be a little bit confusing in the beginning, but this is a way where you will be crocheting along every side of every square. There we go. So we've done that. And now you come up, because this is the only side you have not done yet. So you come up, and look at that, we are in the same place as we started. So this is the continuous join. You can do this with one ball of yarn, obviously, until it runs out, because a blanket might take more than a ball. But generally, we consider this as a way to join without many ends, because technically you just have the 2 ends where you start and where you finish. And you will also be adding a row to each square, because you're adding stitches to each side of the square. Now, of course, you can use clusters, you can use double crochets, single crochets. So that depends on the pattern, of course. But this is the system of how to attach your squares in order. So if I were to number them, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I hope this makes sense, and I hope you can apply that to to your bigger projects. So for the continuous join method, you make all your squares in advance. So you make your squares according to your pattern instructions, and you make all the rounds of your squares. So today I am simply going to join some granny squares. There are 3 rounds, and I am going to add another round. So my joining is going to be in granny clusters. So I'm going to get started in the top corner here on the right. So you take your first square, you get started with half a corner. So I generally just get started with a standing stitch. So start with whatever stitch you need to be doing in your corner and half of that. Okay, so when I get back here, I will finish the corner with another cluster and then the 2 chains. Then I am going to continue as my pattern states, or whatever you need to do for your joining, whatever you have chosen to do. It is possible that you will be doing just double crochets in the stitches, that you will be doing half double crochets or single crochets just in the stitches. So that's fine as well. Whichever stitch you are doing is perfect. So here I'm doing my corner, and then I'm going to start working on the next side of the square. Then here we get to the corner, and I am going to do half a corner. There we go. We will finish the rest when we come back. Then we do a chain, and now we've done this. Okay, so we've gone along the top and on the side. So now it's time for us to take our second square and go up its side. So we are going to be taking our second square. You get ready to start doing your double crochets, and you start with doing half a corner. Now always make sure things don't get twisted, so just hold them like this so you know they're in the correct positions. So now we have to consider how we are going to join our 2 sides together while we are doing them. So I am suggesting doing a slip stitch between the clusters, and there are many other techniques. I have other techniques on my channel as well, but just for clarification for now, for this video, you know, it's easier for me to do this and to show you how the technique works of doing your continuous join. Your pattern might state a different one, but here I'm just showing you the order really of what you are doing. So I am joining to the previous square. Half a corner with a chain 1 this time, then you loop in to there, chain 1, and then we are there. Look, so we've done this, up, and now along the top again. There we are. So we work our way along the top. Then when you get to the corner, you make a corner, because we are going to work down the side. So that we can come up again and attach the next square in exactly the same way. So you work your way all along the three sides of your squares of your first row until you reach your last square. Then you are going to do a corner, and you will have to work your way all the way back along the base of your squares. So you work your way all the way along the base of your squares until you meet the bottom right hand corner of the first square. Okay, so now I have made it all the way back to the right hand side of my work. Now don't forget, in between you have to complete your corners, but of course you have to do that according to your pattern instructions as well, okay? So I have done the first cluster of my corner here, and now I am going to do a chain. There we go. And then it is time to start adhering this one here. So we take up this square, you start doing your double crochets or whatever your pattern states. And making sure things are not twisted, you are going to start connecting them again, whichever way it is that you are doing that. So this time, instead of just doing the top of the square as we did here, you have to be connecting here because yes, you're doing the top of the square, but we also have an adjacent square above this one. So we need to make sure that we are connecting to that. So here we are in the corner, so I need to do a little chain extra. I always go into the diagonal one, slip stitch, chain, and now we have just a side that we can work normally. There we go. And then the same thing here, when you get to the bottom corner, you just do the 3 double crochets over the corner, chain 1, and then we are ready to start adhering square number 5. Okay, and now of course we are going to go back up, which we will be linking in, but then of course you also have the top to link in because there is a top. So that's how we are going to continue for this whole row. So you work your way down the side, linking in because there of course is somewhere to link in, and then in the corners you do your corners linking in diagonally. Well, that's what I do, and that's what I find the easiest. And of course, now we are ready to do the top of the square, and we'll be linking that in there. There we go. So I've already done the corner here and I'm going down. So as you can see, we are doing 2 sides on this square here and then 3 sides on this one.
And all the other squares of the row.
And then we work our way all the way to the side again. So let me continue. All the way to the side again. Now I'm going to join these 3 squares. It's the same way as I have joined these squares. So I will see you when I have joined these. So, okay, so I have now joined my 9 squares. So this is the technique that you will be doing until you have used up all your squares. So of course I've only got 3 in a row. You might have more, so you just keep doing the same thing, then come back and do the same thing. Of course I've only got 3 rows, so you will have more, so you just keep doing the same thing. Once you've joined all your squares, that's when you will be working your way up the side, all the way back to where you started. Okay, and of course this way we have now touched upon every side of every square, and you will have noticed that your blanket or your project has become considerably larger because of course every square
has had a round added to it.
There we go. So we've done the corner, now all the way along the side to where we started. And then when you come to the last corner, like I said in the beginning, I just finish off the corner by doing my 3 double crochets, my 2 chains, then skipping here and going under the V. But of course that also depends on your pattern. There we go. So I do my last slip stitch, and that is the end of my join. So there we go. So I have joined, as you can see, 9 squares in a continuous join using just the 1 thread. So I have not had to cut off my yarn. I have been able to connect all my squares using 1 continuous join. So I hope you will be able to work out how to do this continuous join method. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!